Hello guys, welcome back to the new episode of Nerdy Network News. I'm Pablo, here with my co-hosts Chris and Jesse. And today, we're going to be talking about all things nerdy, all things networky, and of course, the news. How are you guys doing today?
I'm great, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, eating some Doritos.
Look at Jesse over there.
And some Fritos and stuff. Look at Jesse on his phone.
He's over there. He's being great.
It's all there.
Alright guys, let's get this episode started.
Sorry guys.
I
had to reach for something.
Yeah guys, you should see him. He just bent over. It's not a pretty sight.
Exactly.
At all.
But anyway guys, today is the day Assassin's Creed came out. The new Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So let's put this out on the table. Do you think this new Assassin's Creed is going to fix Ubisoft's mistakes? Because you know, Black Flag was amazing. Assassin's Creed 3 wasn't that great. A lot of people didn't like it. Unity Rogue didn't come out to good reception, especially Unity. Bugs and glitches. And even then, it still didn't have much of the game, in my opinion. Now we have Syndicate. What do you guys think? Yeah, Black Flag. Everything from 4 to 3. Good.
Man the cannons!
What kind of game is that? Is that like a adventure?
Pretty good. It's more free running, assassinating people.
Free gold.
Our helmsman's dead! Someone take the wheel!
It's more like the Batman.
Yeah, but more violent.
Yeah.
Do like little missions too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like Brotherhood, Relation.
Fire!
Yeah, for everything pretty much before Assassin's Creed 3 was
Ready to
Yeah, it's pretty
spin,
good.
sir!
yeah, it was pretty good. They weren't like amazingly great, but they were solid. They were solid. Yeah.
Fire!
Black Flag to me.
Yeah, like Unity was so good at first, but as I got further into the game, it just kind of
I mean,
died.
Unity to me was boring. It really was boring. I don't know if it was the transition from going from this open world ocean. I think that's the problem with Unity and with Syndicate. Because a lot of people got used to Black Flag. Black Flag is this beautiful game. Like the ocean, you're on the beach, you're on all these tropical climate areas, and you go back to the cities, these like old school cities. They're kind of, I mean, no offense to anyone out there, but they're kind of boring compared to like all these beautiful places that we got to see in Black Flag. And then, of course, the whole village thing didn't do too much of a favor. And the story was, I haven't even finished Unity, to be honest with you. I haven't even finished it yet. But the story, from what I saw, was it's just,
Get in there, you mongrel!
Ubisoft is saying that this is their way of fixing things. Like Assassin's Creed, the Syndicate is going to fix everything. So I don't know. It kind of, the art style is, I guess we have to give it a chance. It's like, it kind of reminds me of Paris, kind of what they did with Unity. But
is it dangerous?
I don't know. The whole twin idea is kind of a
Edward.
cool idea. How they each play different separately.
Privateering. Is
But
it
I mean,
dangerous?
I don't know until we get our hands on the game. I don't know how.
Pay so nice if
You
it
know
weren't.
what I mean? So
Why not sail with the King's Navy?
I don't
Earn a
know.
proper wage, sail
Does it?
under gentlemen.
Do we
Solid
believe
the Navy's
Ubisoft and give them
gentlemen.
kind of the confidence of the
For
doubt?
every shilling I'd earn, the
So that's
captain
the
gets
thing, I'm waiting on
600.
that. You know,
That's
on
no
that
way to
GameStop
earn
today, there
fortune.
was a
You
line.
don't need a
You know, they had the
fortune.
new Assassin's Creed, what do you call that thing? The little blade that comes out of his arm.
Oh yeah.
not
the-
about
People
need,
were buying
Kyle.
that, you know, Halloween's around the corner. I mean, they had a
I want
great
food that
release
don't make
time
me
of year.
sick.
They did. I
I
mean,
want walls that hold back
it
the
was a
wind.
great time for Assassin's Creed to
I
come
want
out.
a decent
Well,
life.
honestly, not really. Because this month is
How
the
long
month
would
of
you be
Halo.
gone with these
It's Halo
privateers?
month all the way.
Yeah, it kind of is. But
Yeah, Halo's been like everyone's
A
on
year, I
everyone's
reckon.
radar for October. Everyone's
Why is
talking
that
about
game coming out this month or what?
It's on the 27th.
Oh, okay, so it's right around the corner.
So I mean, this is the big game of the month. It's
All right.
Halo. Halo's gonna
No
be the game
more
of the
than
month. Everyone's
two.
gonna love Halo. Everyone's gonna
Promise
talk about
me.
Halo. Halo's everywhere. Even if you don't have an Xbox, you know that Halo's coming out, and you're probably talking bad about Halo. But I mean, you can't deny the presence of Halo. Halo's gonna be the
Yeah.
biggest game this
it is
month.
Halo month.
If not, I'm bold enough to say that Halo's probably gonna be one of the biggest games of the year. Probably, I think, like in my opinion, I think Battlefront's gonna be the biggest game of the year, and then Halo's gonna be second.
Yeah, because you know, Battlefront is going to be multi-platform.
Yeah. So I mean, but Assassin's Creed, the whole idea of it's kind of like Ubisoft kind of messed us up too many times, and we're not trusting Ubisoft anymore. That's kind of what's happening here, you know? I mean, they said they learned from their lessons. I mean, from what I've seen, gameplay style and everything, it doesn't look too fun to me. I mean, I'm just kind of, especially if you played Assassin's Creed from 1 to now, the formula hasn't really changed between those two if you think about it. It's kind of the same play, They haven't really tweaked it enough to make it seem different.
Well, they changed the fighting style, but I'm more of a fan of like the older ones.
But even then, it's not that much different.
Not really, but you know, I see with the times change and the characters change. Of course, they get fight differently.
Yeah, if
good
you
for you as
if
well.
you picked up Assassin's Creed like the first one, and then you didn't play again
must
until
get to
now, I mean,
Havana.
it's gonna be completely
Well, I'll just
different,
build
right?
us another ship.
But if you
You know, of course.
I can
but if you
pay.
played
Isn't that
from
the
1
sound
to
you
2
pirates like
to
best?
Brotherhood to
100.
Revelation.
I drew a blank. Sorry, Revelations to 3 and Black Flag and Unity and Rogue, it kind of is basically the same thing all throughout. It's kind of the whole.
Keep talking.
It gets boring, really. I mean,
don't
it's kind of the same idea. It's kind of like if you played every Call of Duty till now. You know, it's the same thing over.
You don't have
and
that
over
gold
again,
on you
kind of
now,
until
do you?
Call of Duty. I mean, this Black Ops series is kind of looking good to me. Kind of looking tweaked. So I don't know. And then the landscaping of it, you know. I mean, in Revelations, it was an old school Italy. That was cool to see back in the day, right? And then no, I don't know which one. Was Revelation in Italy?
I'm on to you, Snakes B.
I can't remember either.
I don't know. I never played those
See,
games.
I
so
know
don't
Rome.
clue.
We had some, Italy's Rome.
Yeah.
Rome's Italy. We had one in Italy,
Come
and then we
on,
had one
mate.
like in the Middle East.
We're off to a bad start.
Really don't know. I'm not really that big into geometry.
You just played the game. So
Wait,
Yeah.
is the multiplayer good on it? I know you can play online and stuff.
Oh, multiplayer?
It's 100 leagues or more to Havana. Will you walk that distance?
was it? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Brotherhood.
I don't play that much online, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like, you know, you go. There's multiple levels where you could just go and just like try to stab each other, but then they had other modes where you just like you try to hide into a crowd.
Yeah, that's what my brother was doing last time. Like, I guess you could walk normally like at any other, you know.
Yeah, you get to like.
You get to hide around, and like whenever you're in a crowd, you hide and stuff.
Then once you find them, I guess you kill them or whatever. I guess.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Assassin's Creed, maybe the formula's getting too old, and they need to tweak it up a lot, or maybe just give Assassin's Creed a break in general.
Well,
Because this whole like year-to-year thing, I think it's pretty bad for video games in general. Like releasing a game every year, I think that kind of hurts it because you're so used to it coming out every year, and you're used to like the same thing over and over again. Like, for example, games like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, what else?
Like those football games.
Like Maiden and FIFA. It's kind of the same thing. They just really all they do is like add new graphics maybe and like barely and different game and like
Where's he
like new players and stuff. That's pretty much it.
That's how I feel about those wrestling games. I don't think they've had a graphic update in years.
Yeah, see, I mean, I think that's what's hurting the Assassin's Creed franchise because I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. It's something amazing. It's worthwhile. It's really good, but I just don't understand why.
We could work together on
It
this.
just started getting boring to me after Black Flag. Black Flag was a massive change, kind of. I don't know how they did that. It just felt so refreshing to me with Black Flag. And then Unity just kind of like, wow, it just really, it went from like the peak to like, damn, it's not good. I don't know. I mean, you liked it a lot. I never liked it at all.
Keep your
Yeah.
distance.
So, I mean, I don't know. What's your perspective?
Well, I liked it at first, but then the story it wasn't there.
But that's what I'm saying. You liked it. You liked some of it. I literally, since I booted up Unity, I was like, forget this game. I'm done with it.
Really?
I didn't give it a chance at all. Like, especially after the gem that Black Flag was.
Does he even have a good storyline at all?
Black Flag has an amazing storyline, I think. And then Unity kind of sucked. To me, Unity sucked, like, from the beginning to, like, the point I played it. I just, like I said, I eventually said, forget this game, I don't want to play anymore. I literally said, forget this. And I played through some bad games, dude. I played through some bad games and just, like, stuck it out. But Unity, literally, I was like, I'm done. Get this out of my way. And Syndicate kind of seems like it's going the same route to me.
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I could have bought it today, but then I was just like, you know what? I'm I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna Redbox it, maybe Gamefly.
That's a good idea.
I'm not sure how,
Try it
but
out,
I need to know before I make this video.
Yeah, because it really, just really not, it's not calling my attention. I mean, I want to give it a try because I love Assassin's Creed, but I really think Ubisoft, sorry. I really think Ubisoft should like consider going for like a 2 year release instead of a 1 year. Especially after, and that's another thing we haven't even talked about. Do you think this game's gonna come out buggy? Like Unity came out. Unity when it first came out was like people's faces were missing. Like you
What the hell?
yeah, like you would walk around and you'd talk to somebody and like their entire face would disappear. And you could you'd jump off a building and then you just jump straight past the floor and it's an infinite.
Just it's all
Like
white.
it's just
What
all
the
white
heck?
and
You
you're
move
just
the camera up and you can see the water.
and you can see the city on top of you, but you're still down there. Like a lot of stuff.
How do you get out of that?
You're gonna have to restart the game. Turn it
Yeah,
off.
that sucks.
Reset last checkpoint.
So I mean, you think they even fixed that to begin with?
Well, since it just came out, it is probably gonna have a few bugs. I'm not really sure if it's gonna be as bad as the Unity. I'm sure they tried.
But didn't they say this game was gonna be bigger than Unity?
Yeah, they probably rushed it.
Think about that. I mean, Unity was a big game and then it came out bad, and this game's bigger than Unity. And they had the same time to work on it. It's kind of obvious, though. Kind of thing when you think about it. If I fall through the city, I mean that doesn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, there's a lot of things that we have to think about that go into play. Like, is it going to be fun again? Are they going to switch it up somehow? I think the whole twin mechanic is their way of trying to make things a little different. You know, because one twin's more active, go forward, attack people, and the other twin is more stealthy, kind of in the way. But I have seen some people talk about how you can't really tell the difference between each one. Like, even if you max them out, there's still really not too much of a defining factor. I have seen a lot of people say that, people that played the game before it came out, that even if you do go with the stealthy twin, you don't feel the difference if you pick the other twin. So, you know, I mean, there's a lot of ways that...
Maybe it's just to encourage the game style.
Well, maybe. But, you know, there's a lot of things that... I mean, honestly, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I would prefer a two-year window with every Assassin's Creed instead of just coming out kind of like Far Cry. What they do with Far Cry. Far Cry comes out every 2 years or so.
Yeah, that makes the thing hype. Well, I guess that gets the audience hyped up,
Yeah, and then 2 years you have more time to work on the game. You can make it bigger. You can make sure all the bugs are right.
Yeah, then you won't get burnt out as quick on the game, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, Assassin's Creed every year. Like I said, that's what happened with me with Call of Duty. When I first played Call of Duty, I loved it, and then I just got burnt out from it coming out every year after year after year. And then I was like, I don't want to play Call of Duty anymore. You know, now it's been a couple of years, and I'm kind of interested in picking up Black Ops 3, but I mean, it's kind of what's happening with me now with Assassin's Creed. I've picked up pretty much every Assassin's Creed since the first one. I didn't play with the other ones, but I picked up pretty much everything till this point. I mean, it's kind of getting to that point where I'm kind of after Unity, I'm kind of I'm not sure if I want to pick up Assassin's Creed every year.
Yeah, I played all of them except for Assassin's Creed 3.
3? Yeah. I got that one on Wii U. It's on
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's on the Wii U. I got it on the Wii U.
What do you think? Is it good?
It's not good. I don't really like it. In general, it has nothing to do with the Wii U. It's just the game itself. I don't really like it.
It's a sequel playing the indie and whatnot.
So yeah, I mean, it had a good idea to it. I mean, the American Revolution. It was a pretty good time period. I mean,
The Americans.
but I mean, it just really didn't get my attention. So anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think? Assassin's Creed Syndicate going to be the savior of the Assassin's Creed franchise? Going to bring us back to its old glory, or no?
I hope so. I'm gonna look for reviews on that.
Like I said, I never played Assassin's Creed, so I can't really speak on it. But I mean, from what I've seen, that it's not really looks like my type of game. It doesn't really look like my type of game. It's I'm not really much of an adventure game type of person.
For those of you who don't know, Jesse's more of a first person kind of guy.
Yeah, Jesse's more of a shooter kind of person.
Yeah.
Jesse's into the whole shooter thing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Jesse, just to throw it out there, you know, just now that we're talking about shooters, Black Friday, Xbox One, $29.99. The Xbox One bundle is
How much is it?
$29.99.
29.
Well, $299.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, sorry, my bad.
I was like, where's the line?
$299.99 for the Xbox One bundle with Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, I'm a big Gears of War fan, so like, to me, I might pop that. And it's a pretty straight price.
Yeah, $299.
That's great. Yeah.
That's real good. So, I don't know. I want to get my Xbox One this year. That Halo console though, it looks so sweet. You gotta check out those pictures. The Halo console for the Xbox One looks amazing. But then again, I want to get the one with the Gears of War and Rare Replay. So I don't know. Anyway, we're kind of going off track. So Assassin's Creed, Chris, you think it's gonna be the savior or no?
I don't know. I'd like to see.
I mean, just like from what you've seen on trailers and stuff, do you think?
It looks cool, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
To be honest, no.
I mean, I think it's gonna. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, but I think it's gonna take the same path as Unity did. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, so there's gonna be diehard fans who are like, what are these guys talking about? It's amazing. But yeah, it looks amazing. But is it?
I mean, if it's like Unity, I mean, I'm not a diehard fan, but like I like the franchise a lot. It's just Unity kind of like threw me out. Like it's just like Unity kind of killed it for me. So.
Well, I like to see the game mechanics of, you're running a gang in this one.
Yeah, that is.
I want to see what those mechanics are like. Is it kind of like Brotherhood when you send an assassin out to do a mission? You don't actually get to see it happen.
I think it's just like gang fights, like you just get into like a big old brawl with like a bunch of people. There's things here and there to talk about, but so let's go ahead and jump into the next topic. And this is a topic especially perfect for October. Maiden of the Black Water, Fatal Frames, is a game coming out for the Nintendo Wii U. Unfortunately, you cannot get a physical copy of this game. It is a eShop exclusive. You can only download it. It's a big game though. It's AAA. It's AAA developed. It's developed by Koei Tecmo. But it's one of those things where like kind of us in America are getting screwed over because Japan gets the physical release and we don't. We only get the downloadable content, the download. But anyway, it's good to have though. But a Maiden of the Black Water, for anyone that doesn't know, it's the next Fatal Frame game. Fatal Frame came out on the PlayStation 2, 1 and 2, and then after that, I think Nintendo picked up the rights or something. They paid to have them exclusive on their consoles. One came out for the Wii that never made it to the United States, and this one wasn't gonna come to the United States, but after a lot of fans demanding the game, it's coming over. But we're not getting discs for it. But let's talk about the horror genre in general. Oh, and another thing, this Maiden of the Black Water is free to start, so they let you play the first 3 chapters of the game for free, and then if you like it, you can buy the game. So pretty cool right there. But it's good to see this kind of game, especially in October, and in general at least, because horror games are kind of a dying breed. If you agree with me, you don't see a lot of horror games now.
No, not really. The last horror game I really played was Silent Hill Homecoming, I believe. Scared the crap out of me. But, I live alone, so. But yeah, that one. What was the one on the... I think there's another one on 360, right?
Silent Hill?
Yeah. Or was that original Xbox?
I thought it was PlayStation.
What's a multi-plat?
Yeah, it's a multi-platform game.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know. Silent Hill, I know was a
I didn't play a lot of Silent Hill, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah, to me that's a great horror game.
It's kind of sad though, because a lot of people love Silent Hill, and you know how PT was recently canceled, and it was supposed to be the next Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
So middle fingers up to Konami.
Ooh, yeah.
For doing that, in general. But Maiden of the Black Water, it seems like an interesting game. It's got a lot of interesting mechanics. I don't know if it's gonna do too well in the United States. I mean, in general, Fatal Frame games don't sell too well in the U.S. But I mean, it's got some nice interactions. It gets used to so Fatal Frame. The way it works, the gameplay is that you have this camera that can fight off ghosts, and whenever you can't see the ghost and you can't see them at first until you use the camera, and then when you use the camera, they like pop up out of nowhere, and like there are a lot of jump scares, but the cool twist with this one is you can use your Wii U gamepad as the camera. So I mean that's a pretty cool twist with it. I don't know. Like I said, the Fatal Frame series doesn't really do too well in the United States. I want to see it do well. I want to see it come back because I played Fatal Frame 2. And then I played the spin-off on the 3DS that was the Spirit Camera. And they're pretty good games. I mean, they're kind of scary. Not too much. But they work out. I mean, like I said, the horror genre in general is just kind of dying out. Especially Resident Evil's going more the action way.
Yeah, that's what the original like scary games or whatever.
Yeah, Resident Evil. I think Resident Evil was like the first horror game, if I'm not mistaken. Like the first mainstream horror game, kind of. And then Capcom is kind of like just going like straight left with like Resident Evil in general. It's more like an action game now instead of like a horror game in general. So I want to see more games like this come out, especially since the horror genre is dying out. I really want to see that. PT got canceled recently. Resident Evil and PT and Silent Hill are like the two biggest like horror franchises ever. I mean, there was until that one. Where's that one that came out recently? Just came out not so long ago. I'm trying to think what it was called. It's God, what's it called? It's got like some dude like on the camera, like the box art, some dude like looking up and like he's bleeding all over.
Oh man.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's the name of that game? It just came out not so long ago.
Okay, hold on.
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I know what you're
The
talking
Evil
about.
Within, Evil Within, something like that. Evil something.
Yeah, it was on Xbox the other day.
Yeah, it was Evil Within or something like that. I think that's what it's called. I mean, that was. I don't know how that one went. I didn't pick it up, but I think a lot of people said it was okay. I mean, the horror genre in general, I really, especially since it's October, this is the perfect time to talk about it. Until Dawn came out, and I mean, it came out to some pretty good reviews. I'm not sure how it really works out. Like, Until Dawn is like takes everything from a horror movie and puts it in a video game. So, but I would definitely like to see the horror genre in general. I'm not a big horror fan, but I have played a bunch of horror games, and just I hope Maiden of the Black Water kind of helps bring, especially for Wii U. This is like one of those times that Nintendo is like always so cheerful and coloring. You don't see it too often you don't see games like that too often on Wii U, and it's just kind of cool to see. To be honest with you guys, because we're used to seeing Mario's and Zeldas, and it doesn't really get that dark in the Wii U. And seeing that on the Wii U kind of helps like bring over some maybe not mature people, but some Fatal Frame fans kind of come over like, hey, there's a Fatal Frame on the Wii U. Let's play it. Let's try it out.
Wii U's mostly based. I think it's more made for like family.
Yeah, family oriented.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of platformers like Mario, Donkey Kong, Yoshi. What else is out there? I mean, there's a lot of platform games on the Wii U. Like the new so they have like Super Mario 3D World, New Super Mario Brothers U, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and Yoshi's Woolly World, and they got Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's a lot of platforming games. And
the Wii Fit and all that stuff. It's like.
And so they got a lot of more like general family stuff.
Yeah, that's how Nintendo makes their money. They own these characters and whatnot. I mean, that's great, but I'm glad they're expanding that to a little more darker. Maybe it will bring over a little more mature audience.
Well, I think, that'd be a good idea for Nintendo in general. Maiden of the Black Water, like I said, Fatal Frame is a really big, well, not big, but it's big in Japan for sure, and the US is not that great. And it's kind of cool to see these games on the Wii U, because, I mean, what's the last mature game you've seen on the Wii U after, like, Black Ops 2, I think? There's, like, nothing on there.
I cannot remember any mature games.
I think Devil's Third is next, and, I mean, that game kind of did bad. Like a lot of people didn't even know what Devil's Third was.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I barely know about it myself. But it's cool to see this kind of, and like, just to help the horror genre in general. Maybe this will, if this does well, maybe this will tell Capcom, hey, make Resident Evil a horror game again instead of making Umbrella Corp.
Yeah, like for real.
Yeah, so that'd be wonderful to see, definitely.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of a good horror game.
I mean, recently, there was that, I remember playing this one on, like, when I had PlayStation, Live, it was, what was it called? It was like that guy, like a green, like he had like a green face. Not really, it's like a green background, like a dark, and he's like, what's it called?
I was going to say Splinter Cell, but that's totally different.
No, yeah, that's Splinter Cell. Just completely out.
Okay, it's a horror game?
Yeah, it's a horror game.
On what console?
I think it's on Xbox and Xbox 2 and PlayStation 4. On the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. It was like a launch game for like both consoles, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it just PlayStation?
I don't know. The last one I played, well, I mean, it's not really a horror, it's more like a suspense game that was really good. It's called The Condemned. That one came out like close to when the Xbox 360 launched.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not
Horror.
I guess, not horror, but it's mostly like suspense, you know.
Well, that's pretty much what horror is nowadays.
Yeah. You know,
It's a good game.
you know, hold on. This is like the first rated M game I ever played. It was called Urban Chaos on PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1?
Yes.
I don't remember that. No.
This game was incredible. It's like you start off as a cop. You're like a chick too. Then you're driving around the city. And then you do there's small crimes going on. You get to shoot people. It's a free roam, but it gets into the story where it's dark. Where there's like these Satanists, and you got to stop them. It's crazy. And it's,
Shit.
it was like it's horror. Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, you remember there was a lot of horror games back in the day.
Yeah, it was.
All the Resident Evils, Silent Hills, games like that, the Fatal Frame games. A lot of horror games, and nowadays it's kind of like I said, it's a dying breed. So.
Luigi's Haunted House.
Luigi's Mansion, that's what
That's what it was.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion.
Almost scared the crap out of me.
Really? I love that game. That's
I'm playing.
That's probably like my second favorite Nintendo game of all time.
My favorite is probably Mario Super Sunshine.
Sunshine?
Was it the one with the little jetpack?
Yeah, Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, Pablo, what else you got for us?
So, sticking to the horror genre, Until Dawn recently announced virtual reality. Maybe they'll get virtual reality DLC, which is pretty cool because, honestly, if any games are set for virtual reality, I think horror games are the best games to have like that whole virtual reality experience. Can you imagine playing a game in virtual reality and just being like scared the shit out of?
I can imagine not sleeping at night.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the perfect games for like virtual reality, right? So I would like to see something like that. Would you play virtual reality games?
Yeah.
Like horror games? Like that's perfect. Like those are the games you would see like on, like that would beat movies out. Really, I think.
There's already things out there like that, like where you could like stand on a little. It's like a little. How should I say it? It's like a little platform. You put that little thing on, and it's like I guess you walk on a.
Like a treadmill thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
And like you.
I think it's the Oculus Rift that you're talking about.
It looks pretty cool. You could like. You
I mean,
feel like
really,
you're in a war or whatever.
you're really immersed in it. You're like the guy that's getting scared and stuff. So, I mean, just like not really talking about Until Dawn, but just the horror genre in general. That's like the perfect area they can be put in is virtual reality. Because the whole point of a horror game is to like immerse you in, is to make you think you're the person in the movie and stuff, or like in the game and stuff like that. So.
You know, that kind of reminds me of that movie Gamer.
Which one?
Gamer?
Gamer.
Gerard Butler.
No.
You haven't seen it?
Doesn't come to mind now.
Well, we'll have
I've
to.
heard about it, but I haven't watched it.
I have it. We'll have a movie night.
Yeah.
But back to you, Pablo.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you think about the horror genre in general? Getting into VR. Like that whole idea is amazing, right? Having like VR horror games.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be kind of scary. Imagine like someone's playing in the living room and creep up on them. They're gonna piss themselves.
That's perfect. You see what I mean? It's all about the immersion in those games. So I mean, virtual reality in general is pretty much the best thing for a horror game in general. I mean, what other game would you have on virtual reality?
Shooting
GTA.
games, yeah, like GTA type of thing. Those would be the badass ones, you know, like
Yeah,
we
but
driving
like,
a car and stuff.
but-
Like,
Crime would go down by 100%.
100%.
I'll probably go old because people practice on that, you know. Like,
I know, but practice are stabbing.
I don't know. I think horror games are best fit for like virtual reality. I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
the best ones. I think even before shooters. I think because even then shooters aren't like. I guess you could say they're immersive, but horror games. The whole point of a horror game is to make you believe you're the person in the game.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you're playing a virtual reality game, you're more like. You're trying to get into the game when you're playing virtual reality. And when
Yeah,
you're
I'm screw with people's heads.
Yeah, well, see, the thing about the...
Yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, I think that might happen too. I mean, some people might get traumatized over the
Yeah,
virtual reality,
exactly.
horror and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, see, with the virtual reality and horror games, you know, they had that thing where you always had to look for an item in horror games, which I think is going to be great if they do go to the VR.
Yeah, exactly. So having VR to like immerse yourself in the game in general, especially seeing all the like imagine like so like you're like a few inches away from your TV, right? I could say like a couple feet away from your TV. And imagine that shit like right in your face.
That'd be pretty cool, bro.
I mean, that's just perfect in general. You know what I mean? It's like the perfect thing to do. But let's go ahead and jump into the next topic of the day. Square Enix recently came out and said that they were interested in doing Square Enix. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Is interested in making some remakes for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One in general, the new gen consoles. Now, the question is, what would we like to see in general?
All of them.
All of them?
Yes.
I love that. I love that answer, sir. What, I mean,
Okay, let's get like the rare replay. Let's just put them all in one disc.
put them all in one disc. I mean,
Yeah.
but their games are huge, though.
Let's sell it for $150,
I mean,
and they will come.
even yeah, they will come. Nice one, but I mean, Battletoads, games like that, they're like kind of
Battletoads, hex, yeah, I love that game, bro.
like those games are kind of small in comparison to what Square Enix did, like just like scale size. I mean,
I know we could use multiple discs. It's fine.
We'd have
they
to-
need to get this.
well, I
Done.
mean, that's kind of what they do with Final Fantasy to begin with,
Yeah.
anyway. You know?
Yeah, like I remember buying it for the PlayStation and it came with like 3 discs, bro. Like,
Yeah, you gotta insert one and insert the other.
I
And
know a
then,
certain
Yeah.
point in the game.
yeah, so like that's. I don't know. Me personally, a few games I would like to see. I never played Chrono Trigger for Square Enix, and a lot of people say Chrono Trigger is probably like the best RPG like ever. So I would like to see a Chrono Trigger remake, just to see if the hype's true. Like I said, I've never played it, but a lot of people. Just for like anyone that doesn't know, I've done my research on it. Chrono Trigger is like the art style is directed by Akira Toriyama, who's the creator of Dragon Ball Z. So a lot of the characters on Chrono Trigger kind of look like Dragon Ball Z characters. Like the main character looks like Goku, kind of. And the girl that travels with him kind of looks like Bulma.
really?
Yeah, so like that's a pretty cool thing. I would like to, like I said, I never played Chrono Trigger, but I would like to like now that I've heard about it and everyone like says it's one of the greatest games like ever made. I would like them to make a remake for the PlayStation 4. And then I'm gonna go like old school. Like I want to see like a Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 remake because I remember playing those on the NES when I was a kid. Like my dad had his NES when I was like a kid, and like I remember he had games like Final Fantasy on there, and I remember playing those on the NES. And I would like to see those be remade because those games are kind of like
Final Fantasy for the NES?
Yeah.
They go that way back? I
yeah,
didn't know that.
all that way back. Yeah, they go
That-
back.
I thought it was something like a PlayStation thing.
I only knew there was
Sorry.
10.
10. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
that's where I started off. Was
Final Fantasy 15 is coming out this like
I
next
know.
year.
That's where I started, and that's
Damn.
where I ended. I played 12, but I don't know. 10 was the best to me.
12. 12 was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really a fan of the old Final Fantasy, like the
Yeah,
old
like
Final
old.
Fantasy, like NES games, Super NES kind of Final Fantasies, those old school RPG kind of games. I'm a big fan of those. Like I downloaded one on my old like smartphone when I had it. So like I bought it literally because I just love those games. They're just so great. But yeah, I mean, what'd you say you wanted to get it remade by Square Enix?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, wouldn't that? I think that's $1 million idea right there.
Obviously, Kingdom Hearts is one of the biggest like games I think they have in general. And then, didn't you say Hitman too?
Yes, Hitman. I don't know if Codename 47 was made by them though.
Square Enix has.
Yeah, they have Hitman, but I don't know if they made the very first one. Probably though. If they remade the first one, man, with the new graphics and it'll be awesome.
That's a good point. But I mean, if I want to see anything from Square Enix, I really want to see the old school Final Fantasies come out. Final Fantasies, especially like even till this day, like they make the thing about Final Fantasy, like the old Final Fantasies, they've remade them and stuff, but they remake them like on smartphones and on like portable consoles. I want to see like on a home console.
Kind of like how they did Knights of the Old Republic, but
yeah, kind of like on the tablet and stuff.
Yeah, it's just, I want to see it on a console, but
I want to see like
I know you're paying
on console. I want to see that on consoles. I mean, those are what started it off. Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 4 and 5 and 6. Like all those games, I love the way they play. I like those old school NES RPGs kind of things. So I love those to death. Final Fantasy 7's already getting a remake, so we know about that. Final Fantasy 10, I think, just got a remake. Or was it just for the Vita?
I haven't heard of that.
I think it was just in the PlayStation. Was it PlayStation Vita? Did it come over to the PlayStation 4? I'm not sure.
We'll get back to you on that.
I'm not sure about that one. I think it just stayed on PlayStation 3 and Vita. But yeah, I mean, Square Enix has a lot of games that could go back there and remake. I really want the old school Final Fantasies to come back and make an appearance on in general. But enough about Square Enix and maybe our future desires by Square Enix. Oh well. Now before we go on, Super Mario RPG was made by Square Enix. I'd like to see that come back.
Super Mario RPG?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what that one was.
It was a lot of people didn't. A lot of people don't know about it, but it's like a Mario RPG. Yeah. Obviously, Super Mario RPG.
Okay, was it on the original Nintendo?
It was on the Super NES, the Super Nintendo.
I heard about it, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I think I may have seen the cartridge, but that was about
Me
it.
too. That's what
It
I'm
was
thinking.
probably like on display.
Those games, I don't know. I think they're pretty hard to find nowadays.
Yeah, I think
they're like collector items because after they made Super Mario RPG, kind of like Nintendo and Square Enix got into like a feud about it or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, and they really don't talk about that again. So I'd like to see Super Mario RPG, a remake of that. I love that.
Was it a good game?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty amazing.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. What was the role playing like in that game?
It's kind of like the original Final Fantasies.
Okay, so like, are you at like a third person view, or are you like
turn-based, third person? Yeah, like kind of.
Oh,
like,
is it like that?
You know how they like
Mario? What's that game called? Mario and Luigi for the Game Boy.
Yeah, like Mario and Luigi's Partner in Time.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
stuff like that.
Type of thing.
Mario and Luigi, all the Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga and all that. Yeah, it's kind of like that. They're like, like old school RPGs. They line up in a row and then you take turns like fighting each other.
Yeah.
Like I do my turn and then
you level up your.
Yeah, kind of like
all
that.
Stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I never really actually played the game. I know I've seen the cartridge because I read the title and I was like, W2F.
Yeah, Super Mario RPG. And it has a lot of characters people want in Smash Bros. Too. So, like Gino, he had like the super laser attack. Like it was just like the best attack on the game. He literally like fries everybody. Like he just like.
Makes me want to play some Pokemon. They have to fire up that
Pokemon, that's a pretty good RPG. So.
Yeah, there we go. Pokemon.
But last and not least for today's topics, PlayStation, or more in fact Sony, has come out to say that the PlayStation Vita, its latest portable console, they have stopped all first-party development for it.
So that means they're not making exclusives for it?
They're not making any more games for it as far as Sony goes.
Damn, no more games for the PS Vita?
Yeah. So Sony's come out and said that they're not going to work on any first-person games. So no Killzones, no Uncharted, no Last of Us, none of that. No more first-person Vita. If anyone wants to work on a Vita, it has to be like a third-person studio or a second-party studio. So I mean, is this the nail in the coffin for the Vita? You know, the Vita never sold too well to begin with, so you think the Vita's dead now that Sony's kind of saying like, hey, we're not.
Is the PS Vita like the PSP type of thing?
Yeah, it's like the new one that came out with the touchscreen and everything.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't think I actually know anybody that owns a Vita.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't even know the Vita.
I mean, the PSPs, they were popping, you know, like everybody had some
Yeah,
of those.
you know, it's like an awesome Game Boy.
Yeah.
Game Boy and Lloyd's. Man.
I remember those. It was pretty cool because you could like, I guess you could say jailbreak them or whatever, but.
What, the Game Boys?
No, the PSP.
Oh, the PSP?
Yeah, the PSPs, yeah. And then you could put Super Nintendo games and all that stuff on them.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah, that was cool, man.
Yeah, I know some people had like somehow got some games on there free.
Yeah, like they downloaded the game, like the file, and just stuffed it on the memory card, and you played it without even paying for it or whatever, you know?
I remember the PSP, I used to play like Star Wars Battlefront 2 on there all the time.
Oh yeah. You know, speaking of like jailbreaks or whatever, I remember when I was in middle school, I went to this kid's house. And he had a bunch of games on his original Xbox without having to play the disc.
No, yeah, that's what people do. It's like a bootlegged game.
Yeah, you can do that on the 360 2K.
Yeah, you can, but it's kind of hard, you know, because you could, if they find out you're doing that, they could like ban your Xbox or, you know, not ban it, but like keep you from playing online or, you know,
Yeah,
suspend your account or anything. You know? So it's pretty risky.
when I was in the 5th grade, this kid had one. It was a PlayStation, where they modded it, so where he could play games that were burned from the computer, and he had like all these crazy like games from like China and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, like jailbreaking it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like region lock and all that.
Yeah.
But
I
I mean-
actually had my Wii modded.
You had your Wii modded?
Yeah, I did it and I downloaded free Wii games. You know?
Nice to say that on the chat with you.
We got a confession.
I'll see you in 10 to 20 years.
$250,000 later. Man.
Nice one.
Just to cut that out.
But anyway, back to the Vita. You guys think this is the end of the Vita? I mean,
Yes. If Sony's giving up on it, yes. It's their product.
Because the Vita getting its ass kicked by the 3DS, by Nintendo. No, I think Vita sold like up to this point sold 11 million and it's been out for a couple of years already.
Yeah, like see, that's what I'm saying. Nintendo pretty much owns the market.
When it comes
On
to
handheld,
handhelds,
yes.
yeah.
Then they have those characters that they own, and that's just what really helps. Their characters are just classic. They don't get old.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people said that if Nintendo decided to make a console that can compete with, like, for example, when the Wii U came out, and the Wii U was able to compete with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox, Nintendo would be like the kings because of their like first party games, all the Mario's, the Donkey Kong, Zeldas, Metroid, F-Zero, Zeldas, all those games, and then you combine stuff like Batman, Fallout. I mean, can you just imagine that? Those are like killer games right there. Just all the Nintendo parties, all the Nintendo stuff, Pikmin, all that good stuff, Luigi games, and then you throw in stuff like Battlefront, Batman Arkham Knight, Fallout 4. What else came out? Assassin's Creed's on there, Call of Duty's on there. I think Nintendo is really missing out on a great opportunity here. Nintendo, if they decided to do that, I think they would literally be the kings of the console market if they decided to go that way.
Yeah, and they still have all their exclusive rights too. They can have so many exclusives too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they would really be king.
They would like they would take over if they decided to make consoles that would like compete with like this gen, you know. Well, maybe the NX will come out in 2016. I don't know. Maybe it's too late for the NX. I don't know, because I mean we're kind of halfway through the cycle. It's getting to that point where they're starting to make like the next gen consoles.
Yeah.
So like they're probably working on the PlayStation 5s and the next Xbox, whatever it's gonna be called. So I don't know.
Nintendo, build this, and they will come.
I mean, if I was Nintendo, I've said this plenty of times. I would just kind of like draw it out with the Wii U. Just kind of say, you know, we're gonna roll this out. We're gonna take the waves. We're gonna like take the loss, and then come out with like the super powerful next gen system next year. That's gonna compete with the Xbox and the PlayStation that comes out. Because if they do that, I mean, they're gonna have all the first party development, Battlefields, you know, all the EA games like Mass Effect and all that's gonna be on their consoles, and then games like all the Call of Duties and Far Cry's and stuff like that, mixed in with the Marios and the Zeldas and all these games that we grew up on. I think Nintendo is just taking over, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't know. I think Xbox, PlayStation, they're pretty great consoles, but Nintendo decided to take that route.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's always been behind in general because if you think, ever since the PlayStation, the original PlayStation came out, Sony has really been king of the consoles since then.
Oh yeah, like I don't know, they did great with the 64 and 64.
But the original PlayStation still outsold it.
Yeah, when it
Yeah,
came
that's
out.
how it was, wasn't it? Like first it was like the Nintendo versus the PlayStation, and then
It was,
Xbox came.
it was Nintendo versus Sega.
Uh-huh.
Well, it was Atari versus Nintendo. If you really want to go that far back. If you really
Nintendo
want to go,
won.
Nintendo completely kicked ass there. They got rid of Atari completely.
Let's go back to the Commodore 64.
And then you go to Sega, and then Sega was kind of chipping away. Nintendo was kind of like hurting them a little bit, but not too much. And then Sony just, you know, they had that whole deal where like Sony was gonna make a console with Nintendo, and then Nintendo said no, we're gonna go with someone else. And then that's what made Sony make a PlayStation. And then ever since the PlayStation came out, like Sony has been king of the consoles. There's been the best selling. The 64 versus the PlayStation completely wiped it out.
Really?
Yeah, as far as sales go. Even though it's hard to believe because a lot of people had the 64, but the PlayStation sold better. And then PlayStation 2, the best selling console of all time, compared to like the Xbox and the GameCube. The Xbox and the GameCube combined total sales don't even come to like half of what the PlayStation 2 sold.
Wow.
Everyone has a PlayStation 2 or had one.
And then
I didn't have one.
you didn't have a PlayStation 2? What were you doing with your life?
Who are you?
Literally.
He came here on a boat.
I mean,
That was the 64. That's it.
and then the PSP, the PSP kind of was a pretty big seller when it first came out, and the PlayStation 3 was when they really had their first big slip up. And now they're kind of fixing it with the PlayStation 4. Obviously, the PlayStation 4 is outpacing the PlayStation 2. So, I mean, ever since then, Sony has, and then the PlayStation Vita is kind of like, since we were talking about that, the PlayStation Vita has been not a good seller for them either. So, I mean, Sony has made little mistakes between the years, but
Still coming out on top.
yeah, it's still coming out on top. Even the PlayStation 3, when they decided to fix stuff, it caught up with the Xbox and the. That was the only year, I think, ever since PlayStation came out, that Nintendo was back on top of the market with the Wii. The Wii outsold the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. So, I mean, that was the first time Nintendo kind of had a grasp of the market again. And if they, like I said, if they decide to go with some top-notch hardware, like top of the line, or just able to compete with the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, I think Nintendo would be kings again, no problem. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not.
Yeah, but you know, I gotta hand it to Nintendo. They set this whole value thing and they kept with it.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
kept up with the competition, you know. I mean, they haven't been up there in first place, but you know they've.
Well, the Wii was first place.
Oh,
The Wii outsold the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360.
oh really?
Yeah.
I thought it did.
By
I thought
a
it was
lot,
the
actually.
Xbox.
Yeah, they just kept their values over the years.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
they kept to that whole, like, life to the whole like cheap console, affordable console compared to these high next gen graphic consoles.
Yeah.
So I mean, anyway, we distracted a lot about the PlayStation Vita. Do you think the PlayStation Vita is dead?
Yes.
It's dead. What about you, Jesse?
Yeah, like nobody really even talks about it that I know of.
I mean, I when it first came out, I wanted a Vita, but then like I saw that it wasn't getting any games, and I was like, it gets a lot of indie games, to give it props, if you're an indie fan, they get a lot of those kind of games.
What are those? Are just like
Like the small games,
independent games.
Oh, like
like small little mini games, like
oh,
well, not
okay.
mini games,
like
but
arcade type of thing, like which is
kind of, yeah, kind of like that. If you want to put into that perspective,
it's like a Minecraft type of thing. You know?
Yeah,
Minecraft's
kinda
kinda like
that's an indie game, or was an indie game.
Minecraft. I mean, stuff like you said, arcade shooters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like old school games from like back in the day.
Oh,
A lot of platforming and stuff like that. But I guess the Vita's dead. They say they have a lot. They said that they have a lot of third party development for the Vita. Who knows? And I mean, Sony did just release some new color Vitas that are coming to the West. They're getting like a new blue one. And I know maybe it's not dead completely, but Sony in general says that their sights are on the PlayStation 4. But anyway, guys, that's everything we have for you this week. I mean, unless anyone wants to bring anything up.
No, at the moment.
That's pretty much it. So remember, guys, for all things nerdy, all things networky, and all things news, come back to Nerdy Network News next week. I have been Pablo, here with Chris and Jesse, and you guys stay frosty.
Stay classy.